Dan Willis here, and we're talking about Hillcrest, Davidson, and Associates. Are you getting a continuous stream of phone calls from Hillcrest, Davidson, and Associates, receiving letters demanding payment, or maybe you've discovered a collection on your credit report? If so, you're in the right place. Hillcrest, Davidson and Associates is a third-party debt collector. They're headquartered in Richardson, Texas, and were originally founded in 2008. They'll service a variety of types of consumer debt, including medical bills, utilities, home security accounts, and more. Our purpose is to share how to handle debt collectors, along with your rights as a consumer, including how to exercise these consumer rights and the due diligence for all collection debt. The first item of note is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, Fdcpa. This is federal legislation passed by Congress with the intent of regulating the debt collection industry. The Fdcpa says what time of day debt collectors are allowed to contact you, what they can say, who they can talk to about your alleged debt, and much more. It's worth your detailed review at your convenience. Further, it requires debt collectors to be upfront, honest, and straightforward in their dealings with you, along with providing you with the respect and dignity every human being deserves. And yes, the Fdcpa is violated just about as often as our drug laws. And according to many consumer complaints, it sounds like Hillcrest, Davidson and Associates is a frequent violator of the Fdcpa. Now let's talk about, does paying Hillcrest, Davidson and Associates collections improve your credit? Naturally, for many folks, their main concern is, does paying collections improve my credit? You'd think so. It makes sense if it did, but as of this video at the end of 2020 and moving forward, no, it won't. You see, the only thing that happens if all you do is pay collections debt and nothing more is a change in the status of the collection on your credit report. It'll be changed from an unpaid collection to a paid collection, and this is still a negative credit report item and will likely lower your credit score. Anthony Sprav, a spokesman for FICO, says collections on your credit report can damage and drag your credit score down by as much as 100 points. That's huge. The Equifax Credit Bureau says, and we quote, collection accounts will remain on your Equifax credit report for up to 7 years, even if paid. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. An Experian article says, and we quote, consumers with collections on their credit reports are likely to have lower credit scores than consumers who have no collections. In addition to the potential impact to your credit scores, the presence of collections also can influence lender decisions, end quote. And FICO says, the fact that you have collections listed on your credit report will almost certainly lower your FICO score. And they go on to say, as far as your FICO score is concerned, two things are considered. Has a collection appeared on your credit report and when it was reported? So whether or not you pay your collections off is really a personal decision. And if you'd like to see these quotes fully sourced and cited, we'll include a link in the description below over to an article at our website. We also have a free report available there for you, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. Look, if your goal is to raise your credit score, we need to remove this collection from your credit reports entirely, as if it never happened. This is a realistic goal because every year, millions of collections are removed from consumers' credit reports. And for some individuals, after first performing the necessary due diligence, which we'll be discussing in this video and the next coming up, so of course subscribe and join our congregation, may find the easiest path is to negotiate a settlement agreement. And when done the appropriate way, this can be a pathway to clear your credit of this collection mark and long before the 7-year maximum bad credit sentence is served. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Now let's talk about Hillcrest, Davidson, and Associates and their collection methods. Besides the constant phone calls, letters, and negative information on your credit report, it's very likely Hillcrest, Davidson, and Associates will inflate your total account balance. Legally, they can assess your account with sky-high interest rate fees, and believe it or not, they can even charge your account collection fees. Depending on the size of your alleged debt, these fees can be substantial amounts of money. If they're unable to collect payment, they generally have two options. First, they can turn around and sell the rights to your account to yet another debt collector. Now this new debt collector will begin calling you, sending letters, and they'll report negative information on your credit reports. Alternatively, they can file a civil lawsuit, as in sue you. If this happens, you're supposed to be notified of your court date via a summons, and their goal is to win a judgment, because then they've really got you by the short and curlies. Judgments can result in your wages being garnished, liens placed against you and or your property, and potentially even asset seizure. Please check out your local legislation for full details, as every state has unique laws. Now let's talk about the consumer steps for due diligence for dealing with Hillcrest, Davidson, and Associates. And the very first step is to request debt validation. The big coup of the Fdcpa is your consumer right to request debt validation on your alleged debt. When you request debt validation, you're essentially saying, Hillcrest, Davidson, you first prove this is truly my debt and everything's legit. After all, you didn't do any business directly with Hillcrest, Davidson, and Associates. They just showed up one day demanding payment. In other words, we're asking for our original receipt. It's most effective to make your debt validation request in writing and send it using certified mail. This will provide you with a trail of evidence of your communications and they received it. You see, Hillcrest, Davidson, and Associates is required to furnish you with the documents, evidence, and paperwork that does prove this is your debt. These documents should clearly show you who the original lender or creditor was, the dates of account activity, the total account balance, and all the relevant account details. If they fail to validate your account, then you're no longer legally responsible for payment. Moreover, they're supposed to contact all 3 credit bureaus to have them get this collection mark off of your credit report. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Now let's talk about what's called the Statute of Limitations. If your account is validated, our next step is to review this paperwork in detail. We're looking for your last date of account activity. You see, you're not legally responsible for repayment forever for most types of consumer debt. Typically, you're only legally responsible for about 7 years. This is according to state law called the Statute of Limitations. And this law does vary by state, so for precise specifics, check out your local legislation. Once this legal time window runs out and expires, then the debt is supposed to be legally forgiven. The Statute of Limitations legal time window applies to the overwhelming majority of types of consumer debt, including medical debt, utilities, home security accounts, charge-offs, credit cards, telecommunications, retail, and many more. One of the only exceptions is federal student loans in default. Beware. Yes, beware. The debt collection industry is notorious for re-aging consumer accounts, as this enables them to continue to attempt to collect payment despite the contract no longer remaining legally enforceable. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit report consultation by calling toll-free 1-844-517-7627. Again, that's for a free credit report consultation, and the toll-free phone number is 1-844-517-7627. This is Dan Willis. We're going to include a link in the description below over to an article at our website for the full story. We also have a free report available there for you, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. And of course, subscribe and join our congregation, because coming up next, we're going to be talking about how to pay Hillcrest, Davidson and Associates, and so it will help to improve your credit score. So of course, subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.